Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the newly released HG Uraven Gundam, or the Uraven Gundam set, because this comes with the Core Gundam II as well. So, this kit released yesterday, which was a Saturday in Korea, and I finished building it last night, and now I am reviewing the kit. Now, before I go on to the review, I would like to mention this is going to be a 3-part review, meaning that on part 1 we're going to go over the Core Gundam II, and then on part 2 we're going to be going over the armor pack and then attaching each armor parts to the Core Gundam II, and on part 3 we will be going over the Uraven Gundam. And as you can see on the back, I brought out the original Core Gundam and the Alice Core Gundam to do some comparisons and compatibility tests. Now, I'm not going to go too crazy on the compatibility test because there's just so many combinations and options to do so. So just keep that in mind if I don't do a specific combination. Alright, so as usual, let's go over the components that we get. So obviously, number one is that you get the Core Gundam II. Definitely liking the new looks and design of it, and definitely more whitish compared to the original design. And it has become a little bit more taller, and there are some new parts that changed here and there. So I will be going over that as well. And then for some reason they do actually give you a action base for this kit, so pretty good. And then the obvious, we get 2 beam saber effect parts. We get the long one and the short ones, 2 each, so that's 4 beam saber effect parts in total. And obviously being a kid, we also get some stickers. So let's see what we get. So number 1 is the eye stickers. Number 2 and 3 are the head cameras. Number 4, there are 3 of the 4 stickers. So these are the sensor stickers for those flying recon camera or units. And these 2 are the ones that goes onto the legs. Now this part may look like a single sticker piece, but no, it's actually 2 stickers, 6 and 7. These are actually the sensor or scopes for the weapons. Number 8 is it goes onto the back of the Core Gundam II, the big shield thing. And then number 9 is obviously the sensor or visor part for the armor pack. So that's that. And then we obviously get, being the Uraven Gundam set, we also get the Uraven Gundam armor pack. Now, I would like to mention that the base inner skeleton parts that holds up these armor parts is now a different design compared to the original Core Gundam pack, like the Earth 3, for example. So this is an entirely new design, so keep that in mind. And we also get a small action base for that, so I'm just going to take this out for now. The armor pack will be shown in part 2. And then the main reason why I took this out separately is because for the hands. So they did something interesting with the hands. So the hand-wise, you get 5 hands in total. So currently I'm using the multi-purpose hands that can hold pretty much all the weapons that comes with the kit. And then they give you another set of the multi-purpose hands. But here's the difference. These ones are the ones that you can separate into pieces like that. Since I dropped it, so you can actually separate the pieces. Come on. So you can actually separate them like that. So these are those type of hands, and then they actually give you a left hand, open hand for the left arm. But this is actually mostly used for the Uraven Gundam because you need to have the hand guard. And those hands you see that are currently on the kit are a single piece, so they do not separate at all. So for this kit, I think it's okay to use those hands because every weapon you get just slides into those hands. And for the leftover hands, what you can do is pretty much store them on the bottom of the action base for the Uraven armor pack, like that, and you're good to go. Alright, so we're done with that, and now let's go over some leftover parts. Actually, there are actually some leftover parts. Sorry about that, I almost forgot to do that. So currently, we get some leftover polycaps. Nothing too special about that, so as usual. And here are some leftover parts these are mostly parts from the Core Gundam, the original Core Gundam. So we get these parts, which I believe used to be the leg joints, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. And then this is the original body part for the Core Gundam, and then here's half of the shield of the original Core Gundam. And that's pretty much it. Alright, so now let's get on to the review. I'm going to take him off the stand and remove the stand and see what we got. So before we go over articulation, let's do some height comparisons. So obviously there has been some changes. Let's do some comparisons between the original Core Gundam and the Core Gundam II. So currently The Core Gundam 2 has become slightly more taller. I think it's because of the size are now much more longer, hence the height has also changed. The color combination, oh, also the waist area has become slightly longer as well compared to the original Core Gundam. The front yellow skirt armor parts are now different designs. This red part is also obviously different design. The body has become much more longer as well, I believe, with a different design structure going on here. So the Core Gundam 2 uses much more green parts compared to the original. And obviously the arm designs, or technically the shoulder designs, have also now changed, including the feet design as well. And then one of the biggest aspects is that now the Core Gundam 2 has his beam sabers up, while the Core Gundam, the original Core Gundam, had it down at all times. And also the beam saber design has changed as well. So you can see there has been some design changes right over here. So now the original, oh, sorry about that. So the original beam saber designs were just pure, like pretty simple looking designs now, but now the new designs are now has these extra, like, you know, lines going on here, so different design as well. And the original ones, the way how you plug them in the backpack, where they were just straight lines, so you have only one direction to actually plug them in. But now they're now much more easier to actually plug out, and then you can now plug them in any directions, because you now get a cross hole, so you can, you know, plug it in like into the side or the other way around. So that's actually a pretty good improvement. Okay, and I'm just going to take off the shield for now. And now let's bring out the Alice Core Gundam. Obviously the Alice Core Gundam is the most tallest, so you can see the original Core Gundam is the small, then the Core Gundam 2, and then the Alice Core Gundam. So yeah, let's take them out and do some proper articulation check. So before we go that, I think I should take off the gun. So the part that you just saw that fall off, this is actually the core defensor. This is used to do the transformation into a Wave Rider form, or you can also use this as a shield, which I will go over actually right now since it's a simple process. So number one, you need to fold this part down like that. And then number two is take off this part and then reverse it over here and then reattach it here, and definitely we have a more flight unit looking thing going on here. And then number two is get this handle and then just plug it in. So still uses the same system that was in the Earth 3 Gundam while holding the shield. I'm not a big fan of this, but still it's a cool looking shield. Depending on how you hold it, you can get some pretty good poses if you ask me. And here's is one of those stickers I was talking about. Alright. And then for those who are curious on how this thing goes onto the back, is that number one, you take it off one more time, and then you flip this part section up, and then reattach this part to here. Now, when it's like this, there's no problem with the connecting, but when it's on the other way around, it's kind of loose on mine for some reason. So I do hope this is not the case for everybody. And then what you do is there's a peg here, hold there, just plug it in, and you're good to go. So yeah, of course this does make it a little bit back heavy, but most of the time the shield will be actually holding the kid from the back, so no need to worry about that. So for now, for the sake of articulation checking, I'm going to take this off. Okay, now let's see what we got. So I would like to say there's no really change in terms of articulation. Pretty much the same. If you have the Core Gundam, you kind of know what to expect from this kid. So here we go. We have the shoulders that go front and backwards. It's still ball jointed connections, and we can still extend these parts out for the combination with the armor parts. And then the head can go down and up, not so much, but down a lot. And then 360 twist is possible because we have a polycab neck joint. And definitely we have a nice clear green piece on the top of the V-fin, and then we have a sticker camera on the top, and then another one on the back. And obviously the eyes are a sticker, and we see more red on the face as well, including the chin, and then below the eyes. I do like that new look. And then here we have two more clear green pieces. I am a big fan of kits that uses a lot of these type of pieces. Not entirely clear part. I'm not a big fan of clear kits, but I do like kits that uses a good amount of these type of parts. And then the backpack is, as far as I can tell, other than the beam saber design, is still the same as the original Core Gundam. And then once again, still no ab crunch, but of course there's one issue I'm having is that I don't know, it could be the ball joint, but I have had this body part actually pop out like 2 times, so hopefully it's not a big issue. 360 twist is not possible because of how the parts are still colliding with each other. And then we have the legs that can go to the side almost 90 degrees, but not exactly. But it can go forward 90 degrees, backward 90 degrees, and we have a nice double jointed bend. Not exactly a double jointed bend. Well, for the Uraven Gundam it would be, but still. And then we have the ball jointed feet, but these are not polycaps, so they're a little bit stiff. And then can move forward and backward. And that's pretty much it for the Core Gundam. So no changes in the Core Gundam itself, but in terms of the build. But now we actually have a transformation for the Core Gundam 2, and let's see how we do that. So there are some stuff that we need to prepare. So number one is to move the hands like this. I believe it's this way, and then you fold the arms up like this. Now I'm going a little bit different. The sequence of this is I'm going a little bit different compared to the manual, but in the end it's still the same. Number two is that you flip the sides or legs entirely to the other side. Come on, there we go. And then what you do is now you fold the legs like this, and then you turn the feet also. Okay, how do I do this again? Yeah, you need to turn the feet to the other side as well, like that. And then try to bend it as much as possible like that. And do the same thing to the other side of the feet as well. Oh, something fall off. So yeah, there we go. So it's something like this. Yes, it has to look something like this. So you do that to each other leg, and you're good to go with this for now. And what you need to do is to get the shield now. You get the shield, you fold this part down, I believe, and then what you do is reattach the shield to the front like this again to make it look like a jet looking design. And then you get the Core Gundam's beam rifle or beam gun, attach it to the bottom, kind of like the Wing Gundam style. And then what you do is you flip the beam sabers a little bit to the downside. I wouldn't suggest to go entirely down for now. And then what you do is pretty much connect everything you see that has a hole and peg system going on here. If you did it correctly. Oops. So yeah, the main reason why I don't suggest you to put down the beam sabers right away is because of that. So I'm just gonna do this again. You connect everything in place, and then we connect this again. There we go. And then now we have the core fighter or core unit or core flyer mode. Yeah, I think this is called the core flyer according to the manual. And there we go. It definitely has a more Wing Gundam-ish look and style of transformation going on here. So if you want to connect an action base, there is still a hole below the crotch area. So yeah, so this is where this action base comes in. So what you need to do is basically do this, and then attach it right over here, and you're good to go. So here is the new look, and yeah, I say it's a pretty simple transformation. I'm pretty sure it's not everybody is going to love the design, but still it's better than nothing. Alright, so that was pretty much it for the part 1 for the Core Gundam 2. If you want, and on part 2 we're going to go over the Uranus Armor pack and then attach the armor parts to the Core Gundam 2. So I'll be right back.